Hey there, and welcome back, sluts. Me and Tina, we are bringing it to you live, and in color even. It is 12:26. Oh, we are still in the witching hour, Ashton. Yes, it is still the witching hour on Sunday morning. So we are, it is the dawn of week 6, if you don't count Thursday night games, because most of the time in the NFL, they don't really count anyway. They're awful or ugly. And this week was no different. But week 6 is here, and in a few short hours, sadly, we will have reached the halfway point of the regular season. Hard to imagine, I know, but here, so we must roll on. Oh, week 5, what went on? It's kind of a quiet week in the league. Cliff, you took on Matt, and not your best outing. A little bit of an upset in the world of fantasy, and just about every statistical category it was an upset. Matt, 76 to Cliff 70, so good times for Matt, not so much for Cliff. Estes with a strong showing, got 112 against Johnny's 71. Now we have James and Ashton. Ashton continuing to roll through the league, at least at this point. 106 to 81. And Sean played Joe, and I've been asked to and I had to kind of force this out of him. Sean, he was we all know Sean as the modest, the humble, just the quiet, soft-spoken, just real stand-up, salt-of-the-earth guy. And I had to beat it out of him, like literally. It was like pulling teeth. He said, I guess, if there's any room left in your video, could you say something about my comeback from Monday? And I was like, okay, and I know he went into Monday. For those that don't pay attention to anything, he was down a lot. And he had Cameron Artis-Payne, and Joe had Mike Evans. And it was just the perfect storm. Mike Evans sucked. And Cameron Artis-Payne, well, he got 2 touchdowns. So, Sean capping off the rumbling back 95 to 92. Fantasy heartbreak for Joe. Joe, I don't know what you have done. I believe I have said this exact same thing before. I don't know what you've done, fantasy gods, this year. But they don't like you that much. So maybe things will turn around for you. But if the first little bit of this week is any indication, may not be. But hey, you never know. Oh, and that about concludes week 5. Oh, what was that? Oh, Tina, that is right. It must have slipped my mind. Week 5 was rivalry week. It really was. I played Seth. I completely forgot. Silly me. I played Seth. The same Seth Valines that even after scoring 111 this last week is still 7th in points overall. Yet has a better record than Joe. Just throw that out there. Just looking at my notes here, my 129 to Seth's 111. Oh, that must have been rough on Seth, because he's used to scoring 80, and his opponent scoring like 10. So that must have been rough. David Johnson scoring 29 on there. That must have really hurt. Might also add that, just in case you were unaware, that is 3 losses in a row for Seth. So, and I believe the last thing on my notes here, literally, if you can't read it, it just says Seth sucks. So, yes, I beat him down. And this is not going to be any one of those, we gave it our best try, buddy. And all patting each other on the back and, hey, everybody's a winner and we all get a ribbon. No, this is fantasy football, amigo, and I'm going to ride this one out until next year. Unless by some chance your team makes the playoffs and we meet again. That's the only chance you're going to have for redemption this year, buddy. Beat down. Yes. High point of the week. My team shows up whenever it counts. Seth's kind of fluttered. Tough luck. And hopefully you lose again this week. Speaking of this week, I play Ashton. We get to go showdown there. I'm attempting to knock Ashton off her high horse up there at the top of the league. Seth plays Matt. So Matt, I'm your biggest fan and supporter this week in the world. James plays Estes. Joe takes on Cliff. And Sean takes on Johnny. John. Anywho, standings. So at this point, standings are starting to take shape, and they actually kind of start meaning something. So since we are rapidly approaching the halfway mark, here in a few hours, like I said. Ashton is atop at 4-1. Then we have a cluster of 4 at 3-2. We have another cluster of 4 at 2-3, and then we have Joe at the bottom at 1-4. That cluster of 4 at 3-2, Estes, James, Sean, and Cliff. If the playoffs started today, all 4 of you would be in. Then we have myself, Seth, Johnny, and Matt are the cluster at 2-3. If the playoffs started today, I would be the one in there. Tiebreakers of the points scored. That is what it is. So, I am attempting to knock Ashton off, bring her down a little bit. James, one of you, and Estes will be 4-2. So, whoever wins that game will be firmly in probably second, because I think Ashton is leading in points scored. So, but hey, you know, we're here. Season is halfway done. It is rolling right through. I am looking forward to it. And myself and Tina, we have been living it up all week. You know, it was a beautiful game. You know, week 5 is one of those special times that you just can't take for granted, you know. It's beautiful. It really is. And not beautiful in the sense that, like, oh, you know, and I'm going to quote this, oh, well, looks like we played the right Cardinals, Mike. No, screw that. Loss. Take it. You know, that's the way it is. Fantasy football. This is a man's sport, not for the mentally weak, or the mentally frail, or the mentally, I don't know, BFF wannabe syndrome, whatever you want to call it. That's all I've got. It is late. Myself and Tina, we're going to sign off, and at 12:33, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to enjoy a wonderful cuddle with the gracious sword that we consider our trophy. Why? Because that's what I get to do as champ. So, for week 6, hope all of you have a wonderful week 6, except for Seth. That is just customary. That is not of any more or extra vinegar from usual. That's just a normal one there. So, hey, week 6, peace out, Girl Scouts. Till we meet again next week. Deuces.